turn back the clocks just a couple of years ago, and you will remember that the unionists were celebrating Brexit. This was going to be an amazing achievement, finally free of Europe, and we can be, not have to worry about potentially being, as they would put it, being forced into a reunification with Ireland. That's what many unionists who voted for Brexit was very much their inclination to vote for it. That's the main reason. They were worried that the EU was going to force the UK to have a referendum on Irish reunification. So that was their big reason for voting for Brexit. And since then, what have we seen? We've seen the DUP try and push for the hardest possible Brexit and then be thrown under the bus by Boris Johnson, only to then try and make ridiculous claims of even for pushing for an even harder Brexit, even though, as we explained time and time again, not only to them, but to other Brexiteers as well, look, if you do not want to be in the single market and customs union, then there has to be a border somewhere. And as we've said, the Good Friday Agreement is clearly laid out. You cannot have a border between North of Ireland and the Republic. And the thing is, one of the big guarantors of that agreement is the US. So if we were to even consider doing that, there would be a almighty repercussion certainly coming from the US. That is for sure. And even then, they don't want to admit that they made a mistake. After all, they were very much in favour at the time of Boris Johnson's Brexit deal until they realised, hang on a second, this Northern Ireland Protocol might be a bit of a problem. And of course, recently they've had two court cases trying to say that the Northern Ireland Protocol is unlawful and tried to sort of undo it. Now, they failed at one, and today we've just heard that they have failed at a second time. Whether they will try again, whether they will try and appeal this, that remains to be seen. I highly suspect they will, but I don't see what grounds they could honestly appeal on. It's getting, yeah. And of course, the worrying thing is, as we've said, this is very likely to stoke tensions in this area again, unfortunately. And as I've said, this could have some very, very bad consequences. Like I say, wasn't that too long ago of that article in the Belfast Telegraph saying that, they'd called off doing something about that. I'll leave it to your imaginations what that particular thing was. But of course, as always, before we go finding out what's been going on here in the Supreme Court and what's potentially more implications about this, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a notification link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all the people who do help and support the channel. And of course, there's a YouTube thank you button, and of course, the Pony Club down below as well. So over we go today on this from The Guardian with the title of "The Brexit Northern Ireland Protocol is Lawful, Supreme Court Rules." The Northern Ireland Protocol is lawful, the Supreme Court has ruled, and has rejected a legal challenge to the Brexit agreements by a group of unionist leaders, including the former First Minister, the late David Trimble, and of course Arlene Foster. The High Court in the UK unanimously dismissed the judicial review, appealing on all three grounds, including the claims that the Brexit trade agreements breached the 1800 Act of Union, the Northern Ireland Act of 1998. The challenge in two separate cases, considered jointly by judges, was also made by a group of unionist and loyalist leaders and activists that also included the former Cabinet Minister Kate Hoey, the additional Unionist Voice leader Jim Alster, and former Ulster Unionist Party leader Steve Alkin. And of course, the former Brexit Party MEP Ben Habib, and of course, former Loyalist prisoner and recent Masters in Law graduate Clifford Peers. They had argued the protocol was unlawful, created because they said it breached the 1800 Act of Union, which guaranteed that all four nations of the UK would be treated equally. They also argued that it had breached the principle of consent at the core of the 1998 Good Friday Agreement. They lost their case in the High Court in Belfast in June of 2021, while presenting the judge, Mr. Justice Cotton, concluding that the withdrawal agreement containing the protocol did conflict with the guarantees of equal treatment contained with the Act of Union. However, He said that later parliamentary legislation seeking the UK's exit from the EU implicitly repealed the 1800 laws, something that was possible with another constitutional law. The TUV leader, Alistair, said that the ruling was, quote, confirmed the protocol is dismantling the union. The applicants have also urged that the protocol is unlawfully eliminated the constitutional safeguards enshrined in Section 42 of the Northern Ireland Act of 1998, which requires assembly votes and to have a cross-community support. Finally, the opponents have urged that there will be a breach of the European Convention on Human Rights and EU law. Again, kind of funny that they're going, or at least even reaching into that bag of oh no, it breaks EU law of contravention of human rights. Well, bear in mind, there are a lot of conservatives that would love to certainly leave that convention and that court. Yeah, it's yeah. This is going to go, I think, interesting ways. I think I don't see grounds that really this is really appealable. I think that you've now got sort of this proclaimed sort of it's lawful. I don't really see where they can go unless they really want to take this to the European Court of Human Rights. That would be interesting. But given the fact that obviously we've had very much a unanimous decision, and I correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a court watcher, but I think when you get a unanimous decision, it's pretty clear, cut and dry that everyone on that court was very much like, yeah, no, this is perfectly lawful. This is fine. So we'll have to see how this goes. I suspect they will try again in some way, shape, or form. How, I don't know. Maybe it'll be another court battle. Maybe they'll try some different approach. It's possible. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But as I said, unfortunately, I think this is going to stoke unionist tensions. I really think it will. And of course, this could lead to some very, very bad outcomes. Very, very bad outcomes. Certainly for Northern Ireland, and certainly potentially for the peace process as well. Which, yeah, we did say this would cause problems in Northern Ireland, but again, people like Katie Hoey said, "Oh, Northern Ireland not going to be a problem." And yet, what is continuously the biggest sticking point in the entire Brexit conversation, it is to do with Northern Ireland. And it is down to the fact that you have a piece of the UK that is in the single market customs union. And when you look at the data, it is outperforming every other region in the UK economically. And we wonder why the Brexiteers are desperate to try and end this. So, but as always, guys, like I say, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, as always, do ring the bell as well on your way out. And of course, we'll see you all next time.